Hello everyone, it is QwertyAfro here. Welcome back to another video. Let's get the doors open because we've got ourselves a very nice journey today planned. I'm back in Train Simulator 2019, keeping the consistency up. I hope you guys are liking it. I've kind of found a nice little bit of a rhythm of recording videos and work life, social life and stuff like that, and it's working for me right now. So I'm going to go with it, and once it maybe doesn't, or maybe if I lose the drive again, you know, then I'll pause again. But for now, I'm in it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Thank you for all the comments. Everyone saying, "Oh, thank you for coming back and bringing us some videos." It's my pleasure. I'm enjoying making them again, so I'm going to make them. Today, I am on the West Coast Main Line, North and Scotland. I'm in a Class 350 TransPennine Express livery. Pretty funky livery. Love it a lot. It's funky. It's really good. Some people like the dynamic lines. I do like this one. Let's get everything sorted and I'll explain the kind of gist as I'm doing it. Right, I do have this is the Class 350 Advance from Armstrong Powerhouse, just to put that out there. And if I am correct in saying, I need to get my master key in. I need to put that into neutral, get the AWS TPWS reset, operational, very good. TCMS is modeled and simulated in this, and I have to do the acknowledge config, so I'm going to control 1 that, if that will put it up onto it. And that will basically acknowledge the kind of setup of the TCMS and function and make the train operate, essentially. I had a thing where I was loading up in this just to try it and just see how everything works, and I couldn't get the train to move, and it was because I didn't acknowledge the TCMS. So that's something to point out if you guys have some issues with it. Let me put the headlights into day, and let's get the let me do it with shift. No, actually no, just I get the instrument lights on. I think generally okay. Get the destination board set to Edinburgh Waverley, because that is our destination today. The scenario I am playing is actually part 2. It's a scenario by Felix Train. I will leave the link down below for part 1 and part 2 of this scenario. Let's just pop down here so we can see when we get interlock, and then we can make our way. It is a 2-part scenario. It is originally from, there we go, give the signal there to the garden board, and we can pop that into forward and gain some power. Brakes should come off, beautiful, and we will slowly but surely start making our way up to Edinburgh Waverley. This is pretty much a non-stop kind of express service. It's one of the kind of longest ones that TransPennine Express do in their electric multiple units with the Class 350s. I might have said 360s if in the beginning of the video. I do apologize for that. I am in a 350, and it is the 350 Advancement pack by Armstrong Powerhouse, enhancement pack. And I think it works for the 360s, I'm not too sure, but it's definitely the 350, not the 360. If I did say that, I apologize. I've reverted and have changed my mind. Or I might have said 350, I don't know. I can't, literally such short-term memory loss of like something I've said literally maybe a minute ago. You can't recall that kind of information because it just passes your head. But let's just slowly build up some speed up here onto 20. So it's going to be a pretty nice, relaxing. I have a bit of, I have a cup of tea by my side here. This is going to be a nice little express run. I don't do too many of these because obviously they're quite long. They're quite long stints. They're really 1 hour of just solid driving, and that puts into use my commentary skills of how to keep the video going, because obviously my videos are not really gameplay orientated. There's a gameplay in the background, but it's me, Qwerty Afro, your boy Sam, giving all of the entertainment and content through my commentaries, which are never scripted or planned. It's just what's off the top of my head. Let's go, put everything on, and let's see what happens, essentially. And there's probably going to be, little mishaps and stuff like that along the way, because you know it's me, it's you know. But I hope you guys are going to enjoy this video. I hope you're going to enjoy this journey with me on TransPennine Express on this Class 350 up to Edinburgh Waverley. The only calling station we have is Haymarket, and that is literally 98 miles away. So we have a good solid hour of driving here. I look forward to it. I hope you guys look forward to it. Definitely grab yourself something to drink. I have myself a nice cup of Earl Grey tea here with me. Maybe even get a snack, you know, or even get a notepad down. I don't know. Write some notes while you're watching my video. Do some homework. I don't know what you do while you watch my videos. That's one thing I might, you know, ask and put out there. What do you guys do when you watch? Do you just watch my videos? Do you have my videos out in the background while you're doing something? Maybe you're cooking, maybe you're doing your homework, maybe you're doing some work, typing up an essay, or I don't know, on the go, on your mobile, you're watching it on the TV, on your console, just, you know, having a leisurely afternoon, evening, whatever. Let me know. What do you guys, do you just watch my videos purely 100% focused on them, or do you have them in the background? Because in a way, this is sort of well, for this journey, it'll be kind of like a podcast. I'm just going to pop the brake into, the power into 100% so we can kind of cruise up to 95, as we want to get the maximum amount of speed and get that average speed at a nice whole healthy figure. As I was saying, my kind of video, this kind of video in a sense where we don't actually have anything that we're stopping at, is sort of a kind of podcast in a way. You have some train sounds going on in the background, and that's kind of how it is, and it's just me talking, and I can basically throw out any sort of topic or conversation, and that I have to just go with it and just run with it. And that's essentially my kind of commentary kind of technique or skill, you know. And it's something, I don't know how I've developed over time. You can definitely watch from my earlier videos that I was not as good as it compared to now. And even now I don't really make videos, but I can still slap on Train Sim or any game that I play on my channel and just literally talk, in a way, out my arse for however long I need to talk for. And in a way, I would say that's sort of a skill, because I'm thinking about things on the spot and not really planning of what I'm actually going to do and say. I just had a sip of my tea there. I've actually stupidly drank most of it. I only have about a quarter left. I should have left it for the actual trip, you know. It's going to be quite a long one. I do have things running in the background, like the AP weather enhancement, which I have to say looks really, really nice. That was a very, I was waiting there if that was a temp dump or something like that. That was a very unhealthy long pause there, but luckily it recovered. Good job, 64-bit. Well, I don't know, maybe if it was fit in 32-bit, I don't know if it would have crashed there. But as I was saying, I have the AP weather effects, and to be honest, any sort of kind of route as well from them, or any kind of scenarios that they do, and the ones that come with this free 50 enhancement pack, for example, they utilize their kind of weather kind of pack thing, their weather enhancement pack. So I think it's really nice. It's definitely a must buy. It's a nice upgrade of things, even though, to be honest, the kind of dynamic weather on the game's default kind of thing is not too bad. I think one of my favorite things with the AP weather enhancement pack is the snow. I think that looks so good, because when in the normal snow effects, they kind of just look but then the ones on the AP pack look so good. Like, it actually looks like legit snow, and it has that almost kind of like fluffy kind of texture to it. And as you can see, the kind of weather right now, we're driving in the north here, is snow. And I'm going to try and do some more like north content on the channel. Do a little horn there, glorious sounds as well. Of course, this is the 350 enhancement pack, and it's, you know, comes with the, I don't know if it's linked to the kind of 450 444 350 sound pack. I'm guessing it is, because you definitely get a discount if you buy the 350 enhancement pack, if you have the 444 450 and 350 360 no 350 sound pack, you get a little discount on Armstrong Powerhouse when you do. I'll leave down the links to kind of the Armstrong Powerhouse stuff, the 350 enhancement pack in the description below if you want to have a look. But generally, I do like this enhancement pack. It definitely makes the default 350 is not bad, but the default 444 and the 450 are terrible. Can't stand driving them. Their braking is terrible. The sound's even a bit, just not impressive. While this is good, one thing that's a little bit kind of annoying is some of the Southwest Trains stuff is kind of left in here. Even the kind of passenger view is Southwest Trains, which is there might be a patch or something or mod I could probably get online to update that, but by default, if you get the 350 enhancement pack and you use like the TransPennine skin, or I don't know if any skin with the, I think there is a London Midland interior mod kind of thing, I do believe, somewhere to download. But all the other ones like the X Silverlink Central Trains, the Dynamic Lines TransPennine Express, they're all like, I think they have the Southwest Trains livery stuff inside, which is a little annoying, but to be honest, I can ignore that. That's not bothersome to me. And you have some really nice kind of like camera views, one up here and up close, and then you have like one here on the second man side, one up here which kind of clips out to the external thing. I really should start slowing down a little bit. Just keep there on the 95, which is also bad. I'm not looking at my signals, but I'm hoping it's all good. I like this camera view. This is a really nice camera view, even though you can't see anything outside. But it's just nice to have like this kind of whole view of the cab, TCMS view, and then back to kind of your normal default one. But yeah, that is the kind of thing. And then obviously the sounds sound really good, like when you're powering up and when you're slowing down. I do have the Matrix display. I'll link it down below. It's from AlanThompson.com, Alan Thompson's kind of website. There is a Matrix display modification which just updates it and makes it look a bit better on these Desira units. And that's something, of course, that you can change. It looks pretty good. And to be honest, this skin I like a lot. But dude, I just like the TPE. The TPE livery is quite nice, a new one. It's really fresh. It looks pretty good, and it wraps around the train really well. It's kind of like the Dynamic Lines livery, and especially the one for the 350 when it got kind of brought into first TransPennine Express. Some of the Dynamic Line liveries look really cool, but then I wasn't a fan of like the first Capital Connect one. Great Western's kind of Dynamic Lines is quite nice, it's quite iconic. But the one for the 350, when they first introduced them to TransPennine Express, was a really interesting Dynamic Line livery. And, obviously TransPennine Express wanted to update their brand, update their image, and they went with this. And I have to say, even though it looks kind of fresh on their 185s and on their 350s, on their new kind of Nova fleet, so that's like the Mark 5s and class 68s, their Hitachi class 802s, I do believe they're getting, and also their CAF class 397s. Those trains look really good with it, because I'm guessing they sort of kind of kept that in mind with the kind of new train order that they kind of went with. I think I was supposed to do a whistle back there, but wasn't paying attention. But yeah, I think their new Nova fleet kind of set of trains that they've ordered and are on order and are like testing currently, they look really good in that kind of new livery. It wraps around these trains so nicely. And it'd be really cool to see some of like other unconventional trains in this livery. Like imagine some Aventras in this livery. Imagine an Electrostar in this livery. The Electrostar one, I think it'll look funky in an Aventra, but the Electrostar in this sort of, I don't see it working. I don't know why, but I don't see it working. But you know, maybe a Pendolino. That would be saucy. That would be quite nice. A Pendolino Class 390 in this TPE livery would look like a silver bullet going down and tilting and turning. It'd look pretty cool, actually. I don't know what you guys think of that. A Class 390 TPE livery. I think that could work actually pretty well. But as I'm doing this scenario, I do want to kind of go into, because obviously my kind of focus, I tend to stay in the south of the UK with most of my scenarios, most of the kind of content and stuff like that I do have is in the south of the UK, because I'm a southerner, I'm not a northerner, so I resonate more with the kind of south kind of lines and south traction and stuff like that. But I want to venture into the north and try out more things in the north. I do have like Scottish content, I do have like these kind of West Coast Mainline North content. I need to get some more of the kind of East Coast Mainline stuff on the alanthompson.com website. Leave the link down below. They have if you go on the subscription thing that's on the website, you have access to the huge East Coast Mainline merge map. There's also a West Coast Mainline from London to Birmingham as well. But you know, I definitely want to I'll probably get the East Coast Mainline merge, like full London King's Cross to Edinburgh. I probably wouldn't do that as a whole video, because I do not want to be sitting down here for how long, 5-6 hours. I think the full complete, maybe even 7, depending on how many stops you stop at. But definitely do not expect a you know, Edinburgh to London King's Cross video. If I was to maybe even give it an attempt, it would definitely be broken down into parts. I would not sit there for however many hours the whole full trip lasts. I wouldn't be able to do that. And the thing is, in real life, drivers don't do that. You do not get a driver that starts at London King's Cross and goes all the way up to Edinburgh Waverley. At most, a London driver would probably go up to Newcastle at most. So maybe we could try something like that, but I would definitely not do the full thing up to Edinburgh. But you know, I look forward to doing and experimenting with some more stuff in the north, in Scotland. There are some probably one of the best, or the best, prettiest lines, scenic lines up in Scotland. So I definitely would love to bring and try some of that on the channel with some videos. But yeah, generally with Train Sim, I'm really just trying out things I want to kind of try. If there's any sort of new releases that kind of like I feel like, oh, I'll have a go at that, then I might get it. To be honest, as I said in my kind of videos coming now back into kind of doing stuff on the channel, you know, I've had like partnerships with like Dovetail Games where they give me, you know, DLCs and stuff like that. I don't really expect that anymore, so I'm not really going to go out my way all the time to kind of buy stuff, because I do still buy kind of stuff from Armstrong Powerhouse and stuff from Dovetail, etc. And where I can, I'll try and get stuff for free, because, you know, everyone wants stuff for free, right? And it's obviously free advertisement for them, so it's kind of like compromise. But for me right now, I'm pretty chill with what I'm kind of doing content wise. It's what I want to try one day and do, you know. I kind of look at scenarios and go, oh, I kind of want to try that as video. It's like, even with this scenario, I just kind of was looking at this, I was looking at the 350, I was looking at the TransPennine Express livery. I was thinking I've not really done TPE that much on the channel. I don't think I've actually I might have done, I don't know, can't remember, but I thought I'd do something TransPennine Express related, do something in the north. There was as I said in the beginning of the video, there was a part 1 to this kind of scenario kind of series, which was from Preston to Carlisle, and then this is part 2, which I'm doing for you guys, which is Carlisle to Edinburgh Waverley, with the only stopping station at Haymarket. And I was thinking, should I do both, or should I just do one, and which one should I do? I kind of didn't want to do the Preston to Carlisle because there was no stops in between. At least we get like something where we can slow down and open the doors and pick up again and go to another station with this scenario. But you know, and also with this scenario, we go through north of England and then transfer up into Scotland, so we're kind of going in between two countries, which is, you know, it's nicer than just being stuck in the north of England between Carlisle and Preston. Which the thing is, both of these scenarios are over an hour long, so I didn't really want to kind of maybe I could have even done something like where I started off in part 1 and then just transitioned into part 2 and just continue it as like a huge long 2 and an hour bit video or something like that. But I don't know, I try and stay away from these really long videos. I do most of the time go over an hour on some kind of things, because obviously some scenarios are inevitable, some are just so long, or they don't have services which just kind of drip into that kind of half an hour, 40 minutes kind of service, you know. Like, you know, Carlisle to Edinburgh is not going to be a quick thing, even though we're not stopping anywhere. Ooh, got a triple effect of banner repeaters there. And some effective use of my horn. That's pretty much the only thing. I think we are running, I don't know if the scenario, I think the scenario says continue from Carlisle, you continue non-stop to Haymarket before arriving at Waverley. I think there was a kind of thing in this scenario where we were slightly late, or we were behind another train in the first part, so I think there's something like 5 or 10 minutes to kind of catch up. So what's it saying right now? That our ETA for Haymarket is 1:24. And the thing is, we need to be there at 23. So we're kind of aiming to, we're fine in a sense to get there on time. Maybe 1 minute late for now with this kind of prediction, but we'll try and speed up and try and get some minutes back, as we've now just approached the 110 mile per hour speed limit. Of course, we're going to do a lot of flybys. One thing I'm not sure is do TransPennine Express run 8 cars of the 350, or do they run just 4 cars? I would assume they should kind of run, I don't know, an 8-car formation, potentially. But the kind of funny thing is so if they just ran 4 cars, they're upgrading to the Class 397s, which are a 5-car. That's an upgrade, but in a way it's a downgrade as well, because I don't know if they're going to couple those up to do 10 cars if they do 8 cars with the 350s. I'm not too sure. I'm guessing someone who's more knowledgeable of Northern rail stuff and TransPennine Express would gladly throw their advice down and their knowledge in the comments section down below, because I do like reading up about like the rail industry in the UK. It's a very interesting topic for me, and I'm guessing pretty much all you guys that watch my channel have some sort of interest in the rail industry in the UK. And obviously some have opinions about, you know, privatization, nationalization, etc. So for me, it's a really interesting industry. It's a very interesting industry to just be involved in kind of reading up on and just keeping up to date with it, because it's ever changing, ever evolving. There's new traction from most operators this year getting introduced, or next year, you know, loads of improvements and stuff like that with electrification or delays in electrification, different kind of technologies and stuff included. Even stuff from the customer kind of experience side is getting improved or, you know, degraded. But it's just it's a very kind of like, it's a huge industry, and it pretty much runs the whole of the UK and kind of like being its bloodline essentially. Do another thing is, these are just going to be, in this video we're just going to get lovely flybys. And obviously these trains don't tilt, so if we were in a 390 Pendolino, we'll be tilting around these corners and dashing around and really just having a huge blast. you know. But these are, I'm pretty sure the 350s are capable of 110, well they are, even though up here it says max speed of 100 miles per hour. But this is, what is this? This is the 354s, which I don't think they're, I don't know if they're capable of doing, because some of the 350s are capable of the 110 mile an hour speed, and some are restricted. I don't know if it's the, I know the 353s are 110 capable. The ones might not be, and the 2s I'm not too sure, and then the 4s I'm guessing not. But we clearly are doing it in this video, so I don't know. But in real life, I don't know what they're kind of operating. So, or this, the thing is, this could be, I don't know, because obviously the Southwest train stuff, so I don't know if this was borrowed over, like the label and stuff for the max speed. I'm not too sure. But it's all good. They do quite a lot of work, these Desiros, these 350s. A lot of fast work on, like, especially like London North Western Railway with TransPennine Express on their kind of, you know, Manchester Airport to Edinburgh or Glasgow kind of route. But it's, you know, it's interesting. I do need to get more involved in doing more stuff, as I said, in the north with TransPennine Express and even Norden. I do, like, that's one thing I've done in my kind of catalogue of content, Norden stuff. I've definitely done like Norden 319s, Norden 150s, 156s. Nothing I've not done, well, there's only one video I ever did in a Pacer, and that was like, I think it was that was that April Fool's video where I pretended I was playing Ompsy in a Pacer, and I was on the Riviera line, I think. So I've not actually done anything Norden Pacer related. I don't know if I ever will. I'm just not the biggest fan of Pacers, you know. I just can't justify or bring myself to really give them a go and really do something like content wise with them. I don't like the sound of them. I don't like the look of them. The only thing I do appreciate from Pacers is their history and their actual like place in history, in the way of they prevented a lot of railway lines not closing because they were built on the cheap. They were there to provide services and prevented the closure of railways during like the Beeching Act, and they, in a way, going through a neutral section there. But I don't know if does the line light go? I don't know if neutral sections are actually simulated in Train Sim. I'm not too sure, but yeah, that was a neutral section there we started in, so I just put it into coast. Need to slow down a tad bit to just keep within the 100 mile per hour limit. There we go, just leave it in coast. Maybe just a tad bit of power just so it doesn't crouch down any kind of lower. That's all good. There's also, like, you can, with this enhancement for the 350, there is a kind of procedure that you can do to start up when you're, I think you can have this train dead as well, and or you can have a procedure where you kind of restart the system, where you would put the master key in, slap it into neutral, do the AWS self-test sequence, and then there's a high-speed circuit breaker that you would turn off. Then you would turn off the batteries, wait 30 seconds to return on the batteries, turn the high-speed circuit breaker back on again, and then you can even carry out a main brake check through the TMS here. So if I was to go, what is driving, like, it would come up on the brake system here, and then there's like a brake test, but obviously we're not gonna do a brake check at 100 miles per hour. I don't think the passengers would enjoy that. I would for entertainment's sake, but passengers wouldn't. Got some freight waiting for us to go past. I think we need to put on some power because you can see the gradient now is picking up quite nicely. Already at 1 in 80. And I'm guessing it will just keep going up slightly because you can see that on the HUD. Just going up and up. And even I'm at 60% right now and the train's just not taking any power. Not increasing at any sort of speed. Yeah, I'm just going to put up in 100 because we're actually losing speed. Damn. But it would be nice if there was some sort of kind of patch or mod to put like TransPennine Express interior kind of colors and stuff like that. I don't know if there might be one out there. I haven't actually looked for it, or if there's actually existence of one. I'm not too sure. If you'd like to let me know in the comments, please do. But wow, we are barely taking any speed here. This is, you know, well, I'm pretty sure 390 would be able to power up this with no problem. But even though this is keeping its speed perfectly fine, but it's just not gaining any speed at the kind of, you know, fast rate that you would want it to. But then again, we don't really need to take any sort of speed because, you know, we're near the speed limit. There's no rush really. We're still sort of on time by maybe just being like a slight minute out maybe off the actual expected time to be at Edinburgh Haymarket. But what can we do? We're enjoying ourselves here on a nice high-speed service here on board a really nice train that's, you know, done up nicely by the enhancement pack by Armstrong Powerhouse. And, you know, I'm having a good time. I hope you guys are having a good time too. I don't know, maybe near the end of this video if I might do one of my kind of what I used to do in longer videos is give like a special word to like type in the comment section below to kind of see which people actually managed to complete the whole journey with myself. We shall see about that. I will think about it. Have a little bit more of a sip of my tea. It's all very good. I've had a couple of weeks have been quite intensive at work, but you know, it's always good when it gets to the weekend. I'm recording this on the Friday. If I think I'll release this on the Saturday, so my week's just come to an end, and I'm looking forward to the weekend. I myself recently, I'm not really doing too much in terms of recreational activities outside of like work and just in my personal time. But one thing I've recently, well actually no, for the actual last year, I've not really updated you guys of like what kind of like stuff I get up to, but in the last year I've actually picked up kind of rock climbing, and I've not really been that consistent over the last year. I've been going here and there, but it's something that I've like picked up and start like doing. Like the only kind of real sports that I kind of do myself is swimming when I can, but I haven't done that since I went to university really. Badminton and now rock climbing, and it's something that I'm enjoying quite a lot actually. It's really physical and it really like works the muscles and keeps you like toned and fit. And it's, even though you might be thinking, oh, you're just climbing a wall and stuff like that, there's like loads of different intensities and levels that you can climb, and trust me, after like an hour or a couple of hours of climbing, you really do feel it. And the next day, the day after, your body definitely tells you about it. So it's something I've been really enjoying myself. Just thought I'd let you guys know my little updates of what I, you know, got up to, you know, keep you guys in the loop and in the flow of things. But yeah, it's I don't know if any of you guys rock climb, and if you do, let me know in the comments. How long have you guys, I don't know, maybe been doing it for? And I don't know, I'm talking about rock climbing in terms of like indoor rock climbing. I've done a bit of outdoor rock climbing when I was a lot younger, but now I just mainly do indoor rock climbing and enjoy it. It's a pretty cool social thing to do with some friends and just go and literally the hours go by so quick when you're doing it, and you definitely work up a nice big appetite after. Right, oh, that is coming down to... Oh, we're fine, we're totally good here. I'll just lower the power a bit so it can start... Actually, let me just lower it a bit there, and it should nicely come down by itself, and it's already has, so I'm just going to put back the power up so it can maintain that speed and not drop it any further, even though the gradient is starting to kind of... It will start to level out, which is nice. I like in this unit that it does tell you what the destination is actually displaying up in here. It's a shame that this thing actually isn't simulated in. It's just, you just press F7 and F8 to change the... So, like, if I wanted to change it to, there's Carlisle, there's Edinburgh Waverley, Glasgow Central, Haymarket, etc. And it goes through, like, the whole sort of repertoire of destinations you can do, and it's specific for the skin that you're using. So if you were using an LNER, a X Silverlink Central Trains, or London Midlands skin with this enhancement pack that these skins come with, then it would obviously reflect the destinations for that kind of skin and the services that kind of operator would do. And as well with the enhancement pack, like with most things with Armstrong Powerhouse, they release it unbranded and then you just get a branding patch after, and update it with lovely branding, as it says here. TransPennine Express, a first company. Oh, higher. Class 325, the Royal Mail train. You know, popping by, saying hi. One thing with First, the company, the First group, is they're really trying to steer away from... They've updated their kind of brands to kind of not reflect... In a way, they've kind of made it look like they're different brands, if that makes any sort of sense. Let me just start slowing down a bit here because we're slightly 2 miles per hour over. I don't know if anyone's going to notice, like, say with like GWR and even TransPennine Express, obviously before it was called First Great Western or First TransPennine Express, they first have, I don't know, obviously brand image maybe with them not so long ago was really bad, so in a way to kind of have a new rebirth in some ways and kind of throw off public have public deception and throw the public off, is that they obviously rebranded as not something completely different, but like it doesn't include First in the title anymore. It just, like, to me, the thing is, it might sound stupid, but when TransPennine Express turned into TransPennine Express, I generally thought it was another company that owned it. I didn't think it was First that still owned it, because, you know, I didn't read up on like, oh, like they're just changing the brand. I just saw that there was new TransPennine liveries, and I was like, wait, is there a new operator? A bit of a late horn there for the engineers on the track side, but it still counts. Yeah, as I was saying, I didn't know it was still First. I generally thought maybe that there was a new kind of operator or something like that, but no, it was still First. And even to some extent GWR, even though that one I could kind of work out that it was still First, but they were kind of going for a huge new rebranding of the Great Western Railway, obviously to kind of make it more like retro and kind of give it a more sort of kind of British Rail sort of feel, you know what I mean, like back in the early kind of 20th century sort of feel with the Great Western Main Line of things. And that's the same thing that they, you know, trying to do with South Western Railway, you know, because when they were announced that they were going to be the operator for Southwest, like the Southwestern kind of region, you know, they didn't go, oh, we're going to go, it's going to be First Southwest or something like that. No, it's going to be South Western Railway, so they kind of copied it off the kind of Great Western Railway. And to be honest, most train operating companies now are going this very sort of, I don't know, it's obviously some sort of era where we're going to just call things railway again for some reason. You know, East Midlands now, Stagecoach have lost their, you know, they've lost their kind of bidding power to bid for franchises, and they've lost the East Midlands Trains franchise, and now Abellio is going to run it, and Abellio are just literally calling it East Midlands Railway. It's just replacing the trains with railway, and then South West Trains was just South Western Railway. So it's like most of these companies now are just doing that. London Midland changed from London Midland to London North Western Railway, and the West Midlands one, it changed to West Midlands Railway. So everything's now a railway. Like, I don't know what's the asphyxiation of just calling every brand now a railway. Like, it's fine, don't get me wrong, there's nothing, I'm not like saying, oh, why are they calling it railway, oh my god, that's so bad. I'm just saying, like, everyone's doing it now. That's the thing. But then you have ones like TransPennine Express that aren't doing that, they've kept it the same. But like London North Eastern Railway, you know, everything now is just like, even though they're kind of just, in a way, they're trying to mirror the kind of nationalisation kind of scheme of things. No, actually no, that's kind of a bad way to explain it, or kind of think about it. But obviously when everything was kind of nationalised back in the day with British Rail, everything had its section, like Network North East, Network South East, all that kind of stuff. But obviously back even further, you had, like, you know, when steam was a kind of thing, and you had different railway in a way, it was kind of, maybe they're trying to mirror the kind of original privatization kind of model, or like branding kind of thing. Because if you remember back into like the early 20th century, when it was private before it became like British Rail, you had all these companies that were like, oh, we're the South London North Eastern Railway, or we're the, you know, West Region County Railway, or something like that. Like, these private companies back then had the kind of railway sort of emphasis in their sort of branding. So it feels like all these private companies now that are running the train operating kind of networks, they're kind of going for this like railway sort of like early 19th, well, late 19th, early 20th century sort of vibe of things. If I don't know if I'm explaining that kind of like well enough for you guys to kind of get what I'm kind of trying to, you know, go for here. But you know what I mean. It's just everything's being now called railway, and it's located with the region and stuff like that. Which obviously the region part, yeah, it's gonna have to, like, you're not gonna call South West Trains north or like south of the River Railway or something like that. You're not gonna call it that. Because yeah, most railways are just localities and just railway. If you kind of think about it. I guess the only one that kind of sort of like, you do have ones that have the kind of odd kind of name, like sea to sea, like city to coast. There's nothing really locality wise, because you could use the name city to coast for like any sort of railway that just goes from a city to the coast. So that's a bit odd. What kind of stuff do you have? I don't know. Obviously when you have in London, you have like London Overground and TfL Rail, which don't really have any sort of geographical kind of, you know, connection. I'm just trying to think of any sort of other kind of train operating companies that have sort of, well, first, well, ScotRail, well, it's, yeah, Scotland's in the sort of name, so it kind of makes sense. Yeah, Norden is just, you know, reflecting Norden. Transport for Wales. Transport for Wales is like a very kind of weird one as well. It's a very long, well, not long, yeah, it kind of is. No, I don't know if it, no, it's not a long name like London North Western Railways. That's a long name. But Transport for Wales, it doesn't sound like a train sort of, and this is why you would have railway in the name, because then you kind of, or trains. When you have railway or trains, you kind of like, yeah, that's a train company. But if you say Transport for Wales, to me, it could be a bus, it could be a plane, it could be a, you know, it could be a train, it could be a minibus, I don't know, like, doesn't hit you right away with train. And I'm guessing all these names have like trains or railway in it, obviously goes, yep, or rail, something like that, like ScotRail. But yeah, that's an interesting topic. I don't know why, like, I don't know what I was trying to get out of that. But generally, just the whole kind of thing about the rail industry in the UK just fascinates me. I can talk days on end about it, and it's interesting. That engineer on the track was very difficult to spot, but it's whatever. I think we'll do another. Just do some flybys, because why not? One thing I do like about this livery is, I like the little star at the front. I think that's very cute. It's a little different as well. Because most, you know, like something like GWR, they have GWR on the front, or like they have just the word logo, not like some sort of icon. So yeah. One thing with the 354 series is obviously their dual voltage, so you can see that they have shoe gear. So the thing is, I don't know. I think London North Western Railway / West Midlands Trains, they are getting these 350s when they come off lease and get transferred from TransPennine Express when they don't need them anymore. Once all their Class 397s come through that they've ordered, I think these are all going to London North Western. The 185s with TransPennine Express is a very interesting topic, because obviously they're not getting rid of all of them. They're going to keep enough to kind of form, I think, 6-car form services with the kind of rest of the Nova fleet once that's kind of all instated in. So they're going to leave enough for to have some 6-car service, 6-car formations to strengthen the kind of services. And about, I don't know how many it is. It's about 15 or 25 units that are kind of going off lease and becoming kind of available for whoever wants them. And people have thrown out ideas that they should go to cross country, which, to be honest, is not a bad idea. I'd love to see a cross-country liveried 185, even though, to be honest, I don't really have any sort of asphyxiations with the 185. This is Class 185 is such a train that I hear loads of people make kind of huge commotions about, but then again, these are most people that are from the north, so I get that the 185 is such a big deal up there. For me, I've never seen one, never been on one. You know, I don't see them at all down here, so I don't have any sort of affection towards them. But I definitely know they're a big deal in the north, and loads of people obviously want to see the 185 as a kind of add-on in Train Sim, and I think Master Key Simulations at some point they're going to be making one, and that's somewhere in the pipeline. But, you know, a cross-country 185 would look pretty interesting, pretty wacky. And yeah, and then there's an idea that Irish Rail will be wanting some units, because I think Ireland passed a law recently, or whenever they passed a law that makes Irish Rail, the company, they cannot order any more new they can't order new built diesel electric multiple units or diesel multiple units. They cannot order anything new. They can't get a manufacturer to build them a new DMU or DEMU, because obviously Irish Rail, most of their network is literally not electrified, it's just diesel. So they put a law that they can't buy new stuff, because obviously they want to, I'm guessing at some point, electrify stuff in Ireland. If they're going to do that, who knows. So Irish Rail have to look basically what they can do, what kind of used DEMUs or DMUs that they can actually attain, and obviously looking to their closest neighbour, the UK, there's some 185s that are going to come available by the end of this year or whenever they start like phasing some of them out. And that basically essentially means that Irish Rail could nick a few, and you can have some Irish Rail 185s, which that would look interesting. But I don't know, it'd be interesting to see where they oh my god, did I not? No way did I miss that. No way did I miss that. I'm sorry, but I pressed that AWS. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I've acknowledged it now. Thank you. Okay. Oh, thank you. Can I take power? No, it just wants me to slow down. Cool. I'll slow down. That's a cool, actually. The TPWS panel kind of lights up. Now, do I wait for it to cancel or... Okay, good. And can I take power? Yes, good. Apologies for that. A little bit of a AWS situation there. I like that clunk with the whatever air pressure or pipe or something like that bursts a little bit of air there when you take power. You get that in some units, and you hear that all the time when you start up. Right, let's speed up. Now, that was a single yellow or double yellow, I'm not too sure. But I'm going to be a bit cautious coming up to you, because obviously we have some sort of danger aspect coming up. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I hit that AWS fine. Like, maybe I held it a little too long, because I did press it and then I didn't let go. Like, I pressed it like that and then I let go. So maybe I should have done it like a lot faster. I don't know what I was thinking, but whatever, you know, it happens. We acknowledged it, and TPWS came in, intervened, and we just, you know, carry on. I would, of course, be a good Samaritan and report it to the signaller, but we don't have a simulated GSMR, so can't do that. Right, so here's our lovely red signal, and I'm clear that AWS this time. Now, is this going to change, or am I going to have to approve it? I'm not too sure. One thing that's interesting and is pretty funny is that we have a neutral section here, and I'm coming to basically a stand, and this is something you really don't want in real life. In real life, if you have a neutral section coming up and you're at a stand, you need to be able to gain enough speed to go through that neutral section. Right, so I'm gonna put on full brake and slap on the DRA. I'm not too sure how long we're waiting here. Let's tab that request to... Okay. Right, so we've got our associated position light. Let's get the DRA off. There we go, nice little clunk there, love it. Genuine sounds. Now, I don't know if... I'm going to keep power. I want to see if this line volt light goes off. I'm really curious to see if it does that, because that should go out. Essentially, if you don't know what a neutral section does, it cuts the power in the train. You have like magnets on the track and also magnets on the train that interact when you come into a neutral section, and it opens up a thing called a... Oh, we're kind of going off here quite... Oh yeah, this junction thing. I don't drive a lot up here, you know, near Scotland, so, you know, I always wonder, like, what am I doing? What are these movements? I don't drive here enough to know, like, oh, I'm switching tracks here and stuff like that. But essentially, with the neutral section, as I was saying, is you go through, magnets on the track interact with magnets on the train, like hold automatic power controllers, and essentially it opens up a thing called either a line circuit breaker or a vacuum circuit breaker on certain trains. It's different on certain tractions, and that basically disconnects the power from the pantograph to the train's kind of main transformer, and basically doesn't give you that power. And that's just, the neutral section is essentially just a kind of a way to split up the electricity. Basically you wouldn't have overhead line, or you wouldn't have like an overhead line starting from London being connected all the way up to like Edinburgh on the same voltage, like the same being it. You wouldn't have it like from London to Edinburgh on one circuit. Like, you'd break that up a bit, so if anything goes wrong in between, you can cut out a section and not all of it, essentially. But yeah, that is essentially what a neutral section does, and that's why I was looking at this line, because normally when you go for a neutral section, the line light in your train should go out, and then a VCB or LCB light would come on, but I don't think, where the hell is this? There should be a light somewhere here, but that should just go out essentially, but it didn't, so I'm guessing it's not simulated. And when if I was taking power through this section, I would not lose power, but I didn't. So neutral sections are not on some maps. They're simulated. I'm pretty sure on the West Coast Main Line Trent Valley route, if you go through a neutral section, it does cut the power on a 350 where you drive it through there, or a Pendolino. So this map unfortunately doesn't have it, but you know, it's whatever. I don't have any hard feelings about that. I'm just lucky. I'm just glad I didn't spad that signal. I just was a bit late to doing an AWS cancellation, which was kind of funny. Even though, as I said, I was on the AWS button, I just didn't take it off. For some reason, I just didn't take it off quick enough. I just was holding my finger on the Q button for some reason. I don't know why. But however, we got a nice display of the TPWS panel working and simulated, which you don't get in most units in Train Sim, and having to confirm it with the AWS like flashing button. So when it flashes, it's basically the system's intervening and it's activated, and then when you've acknowledged it, then yeah, you've acknowledged it with like braking and acknowledge it with the press of it, and yeah. And when you come to a stop, just press it again, clears it, resets it, and off the way you go. Hopefully I will not do that again. We do not want any sort of mishaps. I think, yeah, that's bumped up my ETA time into Haymarket by a couple more minutes. So I don't know how we're gonna manage to claw back, you know. What's the time I have to be? It's 23, isn't it? Yeah, it's 23. So we have to claw back 4 minutes somehow. Now, I don't know if we have any more 110 or 100 mile per hour speeds anymore on this section. But that's going to be quite... To be honest, it's doable. It really is doable, considering we don't have to stop anywhere. So we'll just see what comes. Hopefully no more switching junctions, or hopefully no trains in front of us. Maybe by the time we get to like Haymarket and that sort of Edinburgh area, there might be a bit of traffic. So we kind of don't want that. But we'll see what happens. But so far I'm enjoying this a lot. It's a pleasant train to drive with this enhancement pack, and I do like this route. Every time with this route, I don't drive it a lot, so every time I come back to it and like I do a kind of video on it, it's so refreshing. And I don't know why I did a horn there. I thought that was an engineer in the track, but it was actually a fence. But yeah, it's good. I do like it, and as I said, I want to do some more. I will be doing some more northern stuff, so all my northern fans out there who'll be like, oh, Qwerty, do some Scotland stuff, do some more northern stuff, you know. I will, you know, hopefully this is a start. But you know, I've done stuff, and as I said on my channel, I've done quite a lot of northern kind of outings and the scenarios and stuff like that. So you know, I don't just stick to south of the river down here in London, you know, or just stick to the London area. I do venture up into north, not a lot, but I do it. I do like this weather though. It's so nice having like snow on the ground and having like nice clear sunshine. It's a really nice, like, because you have like shadows are a lot more defined when there's like snow, because obviously the ground is essentially white, so anything that kind of reflects off the sun, you're going to get some really nice deep shadows, and everything just looks, you know, it's a completely different tone of colors compared to just looking at green, which you normally see. Oh, why am I slowing down? Why am I not full power here? Come on. We have time to catch up here. But it must be so cool being a train driver up here, where like you have like watching this through the seasons must be so good. Of course, you know, wouldn't be a sight without some pendolinos. Would not be a sight. But I do look forward to, if, as I said, Master Key Simulations are going to be. They said that they're going to at some point make a Class 185. I'd love to. In a sense, it's basically a diesel version of what I'm driving. It's a Desiro. It's a diesel Desiro multiple unit. You know. So it'd be really weird, because I've only really driven these electric Desiros, so it'd be really weird being in a Desiro sort of styled cab and then having diesel sounds. But then also, that one will probably feel more like the 360, where there's no gangway door in the middle here. You know, there won't be any of this kind of bulk of a thing, you know, obstructing kind of my view. But to be honest, the view out here it's minimal. Obviously, when you have these kind of gangway doors, it makes the view for the driver quite constricted. But to be honest, I see enough. I'm guessing in real life it's a completely different kind of thing here, but the POV in a game, in a way, it makes it look a bit more wider, or kind of more, you can see a lot more kind of like when you're looking at this resolution like in a game compared to kind of real life, because I'm pretty sure it's not going to be as clear. Well, maybe it is, I don't know, but obviously it's not as good as having a train like a 360 or even a 185 where you don't have anything in the middle and you have like a nice clear view out. But yeah, I do look forward to it. I don't know what the kind of time scale is with them, because the thing is, Master Key Simulations, like, I only found out they actually they're quite involved in quite a lot of projects and stuff with Delta Games and with other kind of like third-party developers and stuff like that. They provide a lot of sound, like textures and modeling and stuff like that to help out a lot of other kind of developers and stuff like that. So they're quite a busy bunch. And obviously their last release was the 460. Love that. And I think they're doing a HST at some point as well. So there's things to look forward from them. But we're only now about 14 miles away from Haymarket Station. To be honest, it's not been a bad little bit of a trip, except for that Aws cancellation little issue. It's been pretty smooth sailing, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you're up to here where I am already, and still stay with me till the end of the journey, because anything can happen. But we'll try and make it smooth and as comfortable for our passengers, try and make up that time. Well, we've made up actually almost half a minute, so maybe we can try and do a bit more. But overall, not a bad run. It's always fun kind of doing, it's refreshing coming to do some like express service kind of runs. You know, I do prefer the kind of stopping work, the stopping service kind of work, and more metro style work of scenarios and driving. But it is refreshing to come and do some kind of like express runs from time to time, and then it allows me as well to talk more, kind of a bit more of a discussion, compared to when I'm stopping all the time. I'm having to think about what I'm doing. Well, even though now I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing, not coming down to that 70-mile-an-hour speed limit just for that little viaduct, but you know what I mean. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your driver speaking. Thank you, and welcome aboard this TransPennine Express. We've been going along for quite some time. This is your service from Manchester Airport to Edinburgh Waverley. We'll be shortly arriving at Haymarket Station. Please be sure to have all your personal belongings with you when leaving the train. Our arrival time is at 1:27 into Haymarket. Followed by an extra couple of minutes then into Edinburgh Waverley. Hope you've enjoyed your trip on board with us today, and hope to, travel with us again. I literally should be like the spokesperson for First Group. I would love, one thing that would be kind of, I don't know, accomplishment, but I would love to be an announcement voice. I would love. And I'd do it free. I'd literally be like, look, whoever, how would you do that? Would you go to a train operating company? I'd be like, look, I have a voice, and I think your customers would love to hear this voice, going through stations, coming up to stations, giving them the bad news or something like that. I don't know. But just imagine. I wouldn't want to hear myself though. I would be like, oh my god, is that me? The next station is... I'd cringe a bit, but I'd think it'd be so cool to be like an announcement voice. That'd be really cool. But I don't know if it'll ever happen. But I'd do it for free. I wouldn't want money for it. I just want it, so I'd just be like, go on a train and it has actually my voice on it. Yeah, I'd love that. Yeah. Be like the voice for I don't know. Because to be honest, there's not many, most of the voices are either done by the kind of Emma or the Anne kind of voiceover people. They mostly get, most tend to go with a female voice for whatever reason, but yeah, you don't get really many male sort of voices. You do get them on certain stations. Some services have a male voice, but to be honest, I prefer the female voices generally most of the time. They obviously haven't gotten the correct sort of male voice for it yet, which I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying someone like me is available to just give them this voice and give them this package and this product, and just this voice could easily boost ridership figures by 50% at least. And at the end of the day, you want a voice like this where, when there's disruption, you don't want to hear, bloody Anne or Emma come on again. Due to a red signal, we are held here for 5 minutes. You want that creamy bass just coming in and going, ladies and gentlemen, I regret to tell you that this train will be held here for 5 minutes to help regulate the service. Now, you can't tell me you wouldn't want something like that. A bit more bassy, just a bit more, you know, you're like, it's soothing. Look at me being like all up and being vain all up about my voice, being like, oh, my voice is so soothing. But I'm just taking my word for like what people have told me about my voice. So, you know, come on, you would love to hear that on the PA. Well, not on the PA, on the PIS, on the, you know, on the announcements just coming up. What I need to do is get in touch with whoever, like, would it be like a branding operations manager at a TOC or something like that? Oh, hello. Cross Country Voyager, how you doing? But, you know, what kind of train operating company would need this? What kind of brand would need this? I don't know. Maybe a brand that's really doing bad in terms of like services. You just need that voice on board to just really keep everyone at ease. And then when it comes time around to do those kind of customer satisfaction surveys, even though there's been disruption, you go, but the announcement voice or the announcement system voice or whatever you use to announce your delays or your services or your calling patterns and stuff like that was just perfect. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about this now. It's getting a bit too, yeah, as I said, a little bit vain from me. Even though I'm not really a vain person, but you know, I'm just messing around here. Obviously, it would never happen, but I would, you know, I think it would be a cool thing if it did happen. But one thing I've actually had a thought of doing is on some of my train sim videos, or even maybe on all of them at some point in the future, I was actually thinking of how would I go about, like, obviously if I get the kind of scripts and stuff of I don't know, let's just say for example's sake, London Overground. If I was to do a London Overground scenario, I could find out like what I pretty much know what the announcements sound like on an overground service. I could easily record like a separate thing and do like, and maybe edit it to sound like a sort of PA kind of radio voice and slap it in editing and put in editing. So basically when I'm doing a scenario right now and I'm doing some commentary, we'll have real-time announcements that would be edited in to kind of like go off at when I'm approaching a station, or when I kind of like say, oh, I'm gonna play a little announcement to stand clear of the doors or something like that. I've been having that sort of idea in my head for quite some time to kind of actually do it and record like a kind of script of announcements and then just edit it into a video. Because I have seen some people on YouTube do a sort of thing where they've included announcements in kind of like a train sim scenario, like even real life announcements, but it's not been done really good. And I think I could definitely give it a go and actually try and record it well enough and edit it in well enough so it actually sounds like they are actually legit, you know, getting the proper like tones and chimes and stuff to go with it before I start speaking. And I don't know, that's something I'm thinking about. It'll definitely take it'll definitely, say for like a normal video that I record, it will definitely take a lot longer to kind of stitch up together than my usual video takes to record and edit. But I definitely kind of want to, you know, give it a little go and see what it would sound like in a finished kind of, you know, video. And I think it'll be quite fun. I know you guys would love it. You're like, yeah, go on, do that idea, Qwerty, do it now. But yeah, it's something I've been thinking for ages, for years. I've been like, I kind of want to try that. So maybe at some point I probably, if I was to do it, I'd probably do it on like London Overground first, like do something on the North London line and just record that, because I know the announcements pretty well off the top of my head. Don't ask me what, well, I travel on the Overground a lot, so I know the announcements. But yeah, maybe I should do that. Maybe start planning that. Just get kind of like a script going, get it recorded, get it kind of edited to sound like an announcement voice. Get the kind of door chime, or no, the announcement sort of chime. Yeah, I'll see what I can do, guys. I'll put things into motion, and yeah. Right, I'll do a little bit of external kind of arrival here, because so you guys can hear the glorious sounds. And then we'll head back into the cab. Okay, that's enough. That's enough of sounds. Alright, we are now approaching Haymarket. Now I'll need to reflect kind of like how I'm gonna sound and use my voice for that kind of announcement idea. Now, where do I stop? There's only a 6 marker, but I'm guessing the 6 marker is a good enough sort of thing. Right, doors are open. Well, wherever they're open along the train. But not bad. Not bad at all. I do like that. That is so gorgeous. It really, like, it doesn't, this livery is fine, but it obviously looks better on the kind of newer kind of trains that they have ordered, but it still looks really good on this. Right, off we go to our last station. Oh, 365, nice. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this first TransPennine Express, or just TransPennine Express, to Edinburgh Waverley Station. The next station is Edinburgh Waverley. With this train terminates, please be sure to have all your personal belongings with you when leaving the train. Next station is Edinburgh Waverley, where this TransPennine Express service terminates. Oh, you can hear the Desiro wine bouncing off the tunnel walls. And it cuts out as soon as I put it into coast. Right. I very much so enjoyed this video, guys. Saying as the person making it. But I've enjoyed the journey. I've enjoyed the discussion that I've... Oh, hello. Oh my god, I genuinely thought that was my signal there on the left. Oh my god, that was so... Sometimes you have to read across properly and know which one's your signal, because that scared the hell out of me. But anyway, I have to slow down for 20 miles an hour anyway. But that, oh my god, I genuinely thought, damn, it's going to be a SPAD. It was only about time. The video couldn't have ended perfectly. Yeah, that scared the bejeebers out of me. But it's all good. Platform 14 at Edinburgh Waverley is our allocated space. Nice little ground position light there. Oh, little theatre box down there. With a single yellow. There's no AW. Oh, it before the tunnel, if you saw, there was a little kind of sign with an X and AWS. That just signifies that there's no AWS magnet for the associated, like a signal coming up, basically. Right. Genuinely want to be generally, I'm saying genuinely, generally under 10 miles an hour coming in. See those TPWS grids on the floor? In real life, if you go over them at 10 miles an hour, it will slap on the emergency brakes. So you don't kind of want that near to the end. You really don't. Right. Right. And I think that's good, guys. Right. Slap that into neutral. Release the doors. Flick that into tail lights. And you know what? Oh, no. Really? That I've turned on that? Okay. Okay. No harm in that. Turn that off. Turn that off. And generally, that's okay. We can slap the TCMS into the door screen if we want to just check. Oh no, it's not going to do it because it's telling me my scenario has ended. And oh, are you kidding me? Oh no, the doors did open. It's just, yeah. But guys, that's it. It's going to kick me out. Kick me out, please. There we go. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. As I said, yep, that's the West Coast Main Line, North, West and Scotland. I'll leave the link down below to that. That's on like the XR route website that you have to get this one from. But generally, I enjoyed this. Really fun little, well, not little, but a really nice run. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Really fun driving the Class 350, the enhancement one from Armstrong Powerhouse in the TransPennine Express livery. Thoroughly enjoyed the sort of run up to Edinburgh Waverley from Carlisle. Definitely, as I said, want to get into doing some kind of more northern stuff. Definitely do not neglect the north. I do obviously prefer driving stuff on the south, but I do also like dipping in and doing some stuff in the north. So for all my northern fans, there you go. I hope you've enjoyed it, as well as all my other fans. I will do some more in the future at some point, and I look forward to trying out stuff like on the East Coast Mainline merge map from alanthomson.com. And yeah, generally nothing else to say. I've really enjoyed the journey. I hope you guys did too. If you made it far to this video, through this video, I should say. Oh, should I give like a little magic word that you guys can say in the comments if you've actually gotten here? I don't know. Oh God, I always get stuck on these kind of things. Let's say, I don't know. Let's say the magic word is I really don't know. We can put it as more for the north or something like that. Yeah, comment down more for the north is the magic phrase, more than the magic word, but more for the north. More for the north. More for the north. Comment that down below if you've gotten to this part of the video. If you did, well done. It's been a long journey, but it's been fun. And guys, I will see you in another video. Take care, have a lovely day, and just yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye, take care.